Today we're going to change the bearing in the front wheel of my newly restored Velo Solex. It's basically the same concept, changing the bearings in this one as it is in a normal bike. Start removing the nut, the washer and the cone. And I'm just going to do that on both sides. And always when I unmount these things, I put them on the side. Now it's outside of the camera can see, but I basically put them how they were mounted, so I can always remember how to put it all back together again. Under here there's a nut here. It's a size 16, so I'll take my spanner key here, and I have this one. Put underneath to lock it. Then here should be able to get this one out. And it's very dirty down here. There's loads of grease and sand and dirt from all the years this bike have been on the road. So while changing the bearings, we're also gonna clean all of this up. And so now we have removed the washer and the nut from the hub. And the next one we need to remove is this one in here. You can use a spanner key, size 16, to turn it. It's much easier if you have two of them. One to lock the other side and then to remove it here. They're usually very tight if it's an old hub. It's very greasy and dirty in here, so they're not letting go very easy. Let's see if we can do it here. Right, so we got the axe out of the hub now. I'm going to remove this one as well and clean all of this, so it's clean when we're going to mount it again. But now it's time to actually take out the bearing bolts from in here. So we're going to remove this one, put in a screwdriver, and then gently force it up so we get the ring out here. I'm going to put that on the side, and then we're going to look at the number of bearing bolts that is inside, because we need to replace every single of them. So if you look in here, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 bearing bolts in here, which is pretty standard for these hubs. So we're going to take these out. I'm going to use a screwdriver, and we can see they are really dirty and greasy in here. This is actually not too bad. Going to remove the bearing bolts here and put them aside. If you're going to reuse them, which you obviously can, then keep good track of them here. So put them in a small plastic container, and then before we put anything together again, we actually want to clean all of this in here and put some new grease in there. Alright, so we got the first side clean, very nice here, and now it's time to do the other one. So same procedure as before, screwdriver in, force it up gently. So now the hub is nice and clean, and you're basically ready to mount it again. The ring that we removed that was holding the bearings down, we also want to clean them because they are, as you can see here, really dirty and greasy. I'll just clean them with some towel paper and then dry them off, make sure that they're entirely clean before I put them back again. Alright, now it's time to put the bearing back again. I'm going to use some grease, and we're going to put a lot of it because it's the grease that will hold the bearing when we put the wheel all back together. So I'm going to put in a lot here. And then after, we're going to place the bearings, and there were 9 when we took it apart, so there's going to be 9 again to put. So I have these new bearings that I'm going to put, and I'm going to use a small pins to just grab them and put them here one by one. Right, and the last one. So they put there, and it doesn't matter that it's not perfectly round, and does matter that there's a little bit of grease everywhere. Now we're going to put the locking ring back that we took out before. I've cleaned it in the meantime. Just going to put it here and press a little bit with fingers, and it should go there. Here we go. We're going to do the same procedure on the other side of the hub. Right, now it's time to put the axe back again. We're just going to squeeze it down here, and it's going to come out here at the other end. And as you can see, there's a lot of grease on it, so I'm just going to remove that. And then we need to put this one. But before we're doing that, I prefer always put a little bit of oil on these to make sure that it slides much better in. And now the mounting part is actually the difficult one, especially if you haven't cleaned it all, because then these are not gonna roll very easily. Just gonna roll that in and make sure that they are all tight on both sides. When you do that, make sure that the distance here is approximately the same on both of them. So this one, I'm going to take it a little bit out again, put it back in, and then they're going to be approximately the same when I get the other one, the other side pushed in. So now we have put the first nut in here that is going in next to the bearing. We have the washer, and then we have the locking nut here. The locking nut is very important because that's the one that's make sure that all of it is kept together when you start to use the wheel. Make sure that you don't tie them too hard, because then the axe will not be able to roll freely. So they need to be tight, but not too much. The last thing we're going to put back is the cone, the washer, and the nut. I'll just give it a little bit of oil so it slides better, and if there's a bit of sand or grease on, it's going to help to remove that as well. And we're going to do the same on the other side. Cone first, washer, a little bit of oil in the nut, and here we go. So now we have changed the bearing in the wheel, and it's ready to go back on the bike or the Solex again.